When I first read Elegy, I was stunned actually by how Nick Payne, the writer, had managed to get to the heart really of some of the ethical debates around having a disease. It might be Alzheimer's, it might be something else that's degenerative, about innovative treatments and what we allow people to do and the choices we give people in relation to care.
It investigates specifically how one's sense of being a particular person depends on the brain and how that can change in very subtle but very significant ways.
It touches on this age-old philosophical question of personal identity. So what is it that makes a person, when they're an adult, say, the same person as when they were a child?
When somebody loses some specific memories, who they are is now called into question, and how they react to other people is also dramatically changed. Memory is laid down in patterns of connections between different brain cells, and when we recall a memory, we reactivate those patterns. But every time we reactivate those patterns, we change it. So every act of memory is also an act of recreation, an act of imagination. And the more often you recall a particular memory, the more it will change, so the less accurate it may become.
The big question, though, is the extent to which a scientist should and can think about the purpose to which their science might be used.
Technologies have been developing that allow us to intervene in people's brains, to have brain stimulation and neural implants.
How far should we allow ourselves to modify the brain and change the brain of an individual? How ethical are different kinds of procedures? In the play we see Lorna's memory is compromised in order to preserve her as a human being in a sense, but you can imagine that we could also perhaps dramatically enhance her memory in other ways, or add all kinds of extra functionality using the same kind of technology. And then there's a whole question about whether we should do that and how that should be regulated and so on.
One of the exciting things about this play is it captures the sense of progress that is really happening in our understanding of the brain basis of consciousness and of memory and of selfhood.
The interplay between consciousness and memory is very, very, very important, and the ability to sort of conjure up experiences that we've had in our lives that are very important to us is really part of what it means to be human.
I wonder what it is that makes me me. That's a huge question. We don't really think about it very much, but this play prompts all sorts of really fundamental questions about identity, self, change, and the coherence of the stories we tell about ourselves and our lives.